Hi, good evening, and welcome to our live stream tonight. So tonight we're going to do something a bit different to what we've done before. We're going to do a live demo. We're joined by Raymond Lowe from Intel. Hi, Raymond.
Hi, good to hear from you, Paul. Demos. I'm so excited about demos.
Yeah, well, we'll see how well this goes. And we've got Chris Hill, who's going to be the baptism of fire. Hi, Chris. Good to have you. Chris is one of my colleagues from ADLINK, and he's going to have the baptism of fire of demonstrating live. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so we're going to demonstrate computer vision using a Vizi-AI ADLINK dev kit, which coincidentally is the device that the Phase 1 winners will receive to build their prototype with. We are supplying this device as it really is the perfect POC dev kit that enables you to take the software and scale across other devices easily and get the take the inference data and make magic happen, which is what Chris is going to demonstrate today. Okay, so what do you get with the Vizi-AI? Why are we providing this this technology? Okay, so it's got an Intel Atom X5 E3940 CPU, and for the inferencing, you've got the Intel Navidius VPU Myriad X as well. So you've got some great grunt there. You can, if you wanted more, you can put in a neural stick into the USB and optimize it even further. You then also get the ADLINK Edge platform and the applications to help you deliver that, which is what Chris is going to be using live later. So you get Profile Builder. That's the combination of the applications and configuration. ADLINK Edge is much more about configuration and less code. You get Stream Viewer, Frame Streamer. OpenVINO is an application on there already. Model Manager, helping you manage your models. Training Streamer, Node-RED, which is what Chris is going to demonstrate how to make magic happen really quickly, and AI Model Confidence. So some great, powerful kit. But, you know, so we're going to be announcing the 10 winners, just so everybody knows. We're going to have the 10 winner announcements on February the 5th at 10 a.m. GMT. So we have the judges currently going through all the submissions. We had 115 submissions, so quite a lot to go through. But there's some absolutely brilliant quality on that. So thanks to everybody that's submitted. We really appreciate it. And we're really excited with the outcome for the 10 winners to move through to phase 2. But hey, Raymond, do you want to share a little bit about OpenVINO and models and how you get access to models and so on and so forth?
Exactly. So, well, one thing, once you get the hardware, you may ask, like, what do we do with it? So that's why we talk about OpenVINO a lot. We come with a library called, I'll say a set of model called Open Model Zoo. So think about right now, you're developing machine learning algorithms, most likely using TensorFlow, Caffe. You end up with a model that's trained. For example, you want to detect fruits, right? Like oranges, apple, banana. Once you have that model, what happens is you want to now deploy it, right? So in between the whole process, open models will help you to basically, you can have like a shopping list, right? So that shopping list will look like you can have object detection, you can like have image recognitions based on the text, like OCR. Next slide. And there's a lot of like tools that we identify from the industry. So for example, you can do human pose. So you can basically do a dense video and then track your body skeleton. And things that I really enjoy doing as well is like beyond just vision, you can also do audios. So we also support something called the BERT, so like a model for natural language processing. So you can make the machine to answer questions for you. You can build like a chatbot. So there's like a lot of these kind of like pre-trained model that come like already like packaged from OpenVINO. Why it's important is we don't just package to, we optimize it. So you may be able to find a lot of those in an open source environment. They're like free to download, but they may not run, right? That's like number one problem a lot of people facing. So Intel, when you basically using OpenVINO, there's a step called model optimizer, like basically converting a format called IR. For people who did the 100-stick challenge, I'll call it the mini challenge, you notice that the tab, you created that file. And that file is amazing because now you can deploy to CPU, GPU. So if you're looking at the ADLINK, it actually does have a GPU as well. So that deployment makes it a lot easier because the inference engine allow you to run on like different type of hardware very quickly. And that's why Chris today will show you, right? Like if we have this engine, how can we actually run an application on top? And then Vizi-AI will provide you a lot of great interface. I'm not gonna, tell you everything yet because Chris will.
Okay, that's great. So, Chris, over to you. So we've chosen the model, we've got it running, it's running on OpenVINO. What happens next?
Okay. Yeah, you can see my screen here. So this video, along with the detection boxes being drawn over it, this is all running on the Vizi-AI. This is just a detection box model that we've loaded up into the OpenVINO inference engine. And the detection boxes are the inferences that is actually being output onto the ADLINK data river. This application here is combining the video feed and data separately to draw the boxes. But just being able to view bounding boxes over a video isn't necessarily that useful as a business use case. So what we can actually do is we can take the data on the ADLINK data river. We can actually work out what objects are actually being detected, and then depending on what those objects are, we can send a text message. So you guys are going to get a lot of text messages come through now. So whenever there is a bicycle, we're going to send a text to Paul. And whenever there is a car, and there's a lot of cars, we're going to send a text to Raymond. So those have been connected up.
Oh, not the cars. Oh. All right. Paul, you can share our screen. Maybe you can see what's happening to us right now. All right. So real time.
Real time.
A lot of messages from Chris right now. So that model basically, every time we detect a car, we say he saw a car. Okay, so that's a lot of traffic going on there. I guess that's your traffic monitor?
So evidently there's less bicycles than cars, because I've got one message.
I'm getting a lot of cars. So Chris, this is a lot of information to digest. Can you explain to us what's no red, first of all? Like, what's going on here? Like, sure. I saw you just quickly, you drag and drop, you can get it running. So what's happening? Let's tell us more.
Sure thing. So yeah, Node-RED is what they call a low-code environment. Actually, before we get going, I'm just going to disconnect these connections so that you don't keep constantly.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Again, if anyone interested in AI, talk to Chris. He will send you a lot of text. Get back to
you. Okay. So Node-RED, it's been around for quite a number of years now. It's an open source application, and our version, if you can call it that, is effectively we package it up and provide Node-RED with some data river nodes. And what these effectively are ways that we can actually read data from the data river. So we take the data in here, we then figure out what data is actually, what it's actually saying, what it's actually containing, and then, as you can see, it's kind of like a pretty straightforward flow. We go from taking in the data to then working on it, and so on and so forth. That's the whole idea behind Node-RED. It's a sort of a pipeline application, as it were.
Question already. Data river. You gotta stop here, right there. Someone asked, "What's data river?" You gotta say that term 100 times. You gotta define that to us. What is data river?
Right. I'm trying to think the quick, simple marketing line. Data river is a lot of things, but first and foremost, it is a way to get data from devices, OT devices, or in this case, our Vizi-AI, to basically anywhere else on your network. And the data river allows you to get that data really quickly. It's also data centric, which unlike say point-to-point protocols, something like MQTT or HTTPS, it means that more than one device, more than one endpoint can consume data at the same time.
So it really, so would you say, Chris, it really enables the true use of edge computing with its latency and bandwidth, that it really reduces the amount of data that's flowing in regards to replication and keeps it very much streamlined. So then, especially when you're doing stuff like video, it really empowers that to be able to transfer it across, and enabling the computing on the device as well to be sending the data output rather than such large files.
I could have said it better, Paul. Yeah.
Because otherwise you could do socket after socket after sockets, and trust me, it's not very reliable. And there's all this handling of the data flow. I think the way I see the river is like a bundle of all the streams, right? Streams are one, right? When you have a lot of streams, call it river. I guess that's how you trademark it right now. I'm not sure who did that, but that sounds pretty intuitive to me. But at the same time, people ask about what's YOLO, because I think that actually the two things you're showing, right?
Yeah, we do actually have a question there from Summit Panic. Thank you very much. Was it a YOLO model that was running there?
It was an SSD MobileNet V2 Coco model specifically. Yeah,
not
it's been a while
you
since
live
you,
only
well,
once,
since you
right?
trained
Not
it.
that, right? So I think if you look it up, YOLO, that is you only look once or something like that. I think that's
That's
the
right.
name
Yeah.
for that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you only
that's
look
right.
once.
Yeah.
There's a TED talk about that too. I think we can also share that in our comments later. Keep going, Chris. Sorry to interrupt, but you
Okay.
get great stuff. We're really interested in it. That's why.
No worries. Okay, so we'll dive a little deeper into this in terms of what's actually going on. So each Node-RED node is obviously configured to work as a flow. This is the entire flow. If we dig into each node one by one, then we've got this first one, which is a detection box reader. So the Vizi-AI, the OpenVINO engine, is outputting detection boxes. And this is using something called a tag group on the data river. And a tag group is basically a way that we define sort of like a model for data. I can actually bring up a definition. We use JSON definitions for tag groups. And this is the detection box tag group definition. And you can see within it, we've got information like the inference engine that's actually producing the detection boxes, the stream ID, the frame ID, but crucially for this demo, the data. And this is actually a sequence of detection box data, which is sort of like another type that's defined within the tag group. And we can see that within this detection box data, we've got more fields like the object ID, the object label, we'll come back to that in a sec, class ID, as well as coordinates. So that allows our other application to actually draw the bounding boxes onto a video stream separately. So like you guys were just saying, we've got completely independent streams, one for video, one for bounding boxes, all sorts of different data. So our Node-RED application doesn't actually have to ingest the data to be able to use the data in like a really useful way. Going back to Node-RED, we are, as the first stage, reading data in, and we've defined the tag group here. I won't go too much into this right now since it's not a massively technical deep dive. We're reading at a rate of 1 hertz, once per second. So once that data is read in, we're using a Node-RED function, and this is all just JavaScript, in order to be able to extract that data and figure out what's inside. So we take the message payload data, and then we go through all the different objects that have been detected, and we add to this array here the object label. And you remember from that JSON that we just saw of the tag group definition that every single detection box contains an object label. So in that case, that'll be things like bicycle, car, fire hydrant. We then send all those object labels on into another message. And for any people not familiar with Node-RED, you have a message, and that's the data that's passed between these nodes, going from like an input here, changing the message to the output. We then go to a content switch, which is quite straightforward. It looks to see what the payload contains, and if it contains a person, then we send a message out on output 1, a car, output 2, 3 for a fire hydrant, and 4 for a bicycle. It's really that straightforward. And then output 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of these essentially takes the message in, and let's have a look at the bicycle. It then recognizes, oh, we've got a message, so that means that we have seen a bicycle. And then we return the message, and as we were doing earlier on, we can just simply wire that up to then perform an action like send an SMS. That's pretty much it. It's really great how straightforward it is to be able to just put all these bits of fairly straightforward logic together to actually end up with, like a really actionable result. Like if you wanted to do a proof of concept, then this is perfect.
It is remind me of a lot of how we build chatbots, right? Like you put a set of logics. If you see this, you do that. It actually is much more intuitive than me writing a Python code that you have to read. Trust me, it's not that fun to read Python code too.
And I think that's one. Yeah, I think that's one of the key things, isn't it? Is that like tools like Node-RED and what ADLINK Edge platform's doing is bringing all of these great tools together. And if they aren't on the platform and available, you can get the SDK to build your own connector app for these to run and make it much more about configuration rather than code. So you can really focus on the model building and the AI and getting that to be the real key asset of it, because the other bits have been around for a fair while longer. So it really accelerates that opportunity of getting POCs made, and then beyond building a POC, one of the great things with the model theory of everything is the profile, is that you can take a profile and replicate that really easily onto another device. You don't have to start again, so to speak. It's literally copy-paste kind of thing. And if it's a device with a slightly different hardware or whatever, you can do some configuration tweaks to it to get it to work. So it's one of the reasons why we're very keen to enable the 10 winners of the hack for phase 2 to get access to this device, is because it's not just the hardware, which is great power for building a POC, but it's the software of making them able to deliver the POC in 7 weeks, because we're giving them the full toolkit to do it.
Yeah, this is exactly why we give you that. And people may ask about, can we connect cameras? There's a question asked by Bob. So what happened if you want to connect a camera to this? Let's say a webcam. So what sort of the step we would need to do in here? Do we even support that, first of all, Chris?
Yeah, yes, we do. We do support it. This isn't something you would configure in Node-RED. So I don't think we've got this running at the moment, but running on the Vizi, we've deployed several ADLINK Edge apps, and each one has got like a specific job to do. So at the moment, the frame streamer app is what is actually sending frames over the data over individual video frames. It's playing a video because we know what the video contains. We can have the demo work to the video. But absolutely, you can plug in a webcam to your Vizi-AI, change the frame streamer configuration to use that webcam, and then those frames can be delivered to the OpenVINO inference engine to do, I think you mentioned earlier, Raymond, object detection, bananas, oranges.
It worked. Banana works so well, guys. You'll be seeing that in a shop soon. We actually just recently talked about in a newsletter that later on when you're checking out, like from, let's say you go to, I don't know, I cannot say name. So a shop that sells food. So when you're checking out, so you'll be able to scan the food, even without the barcode, but looking at the item to kind of like know what that is. But can you provide us a link to like how they configure a camera? I think a lot of people will appreciate some of the sharing of your knowledge. Maybe put it on Discord, put it on the forum for us later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sure. So there's a whole lot of content on go250.ai in regards to user guides and blogs. Very simple address to remember. So if you check out that's the ADLINK computer vision community website. If you'd like to submit content, please do. There is a forum there as well to ask questions and have direct access to the support team and developers there, as well as the wider community. We've got a number of members from Intel and other partners that are on their forum as well. So it's a great place to get in contact with everybody and get support as well. That's what we're here to do, is help and really accelerate the adoption of using computer vision. One of the questions from Summit is, does Data River takes buffer time while accessing data? Can you answer that one, Chris?
I can try. Data River is it's very configurable. It's very flexible. So whether you're sending video frames, which are can be anything from like a small number of pixels, a small number of bytes, to huge multi-megapixel things, or you're just sending like a couple of integers or a couple of strings, depending on what you're sending will obviously depend on how long it takes to go over the network, how long it will take to read. And we have all sorts of different QoS profiles to support that. And as you guys were saying before, it's all based around configuration and your specific use case.
So you're saying that this is based on the real-time protocol? So
yes.
Okay. So then you can define the buffer size. You can it really depends on the bandwidth too, right? So you have like a very low bandwidth. So these are portable. You're saying basically can be configured. I would say my general answer is minimum 1 frame. If you can pick 1 frame, let me know. Maybe you can do subframe. Because like usually if you do 1 frame, because the better thing is you can pre-compress them, decompress them. That usually saves bandwidth. That's my answer oftentimes if I were doing that. So it's up to you guys, like your developer, but we definitely can help you more. Yeah.
Okay, we've got another question from Danny. How many cameras can be connected to Vizi-AI at the same time?
I see 4 port right here.
Chris, how many of you tried to connect at one time?
Truthfully, I've only had 2 connected at once. Never tried any more than that, yes. But yes, as Raymond says, we've got 4 USB ports.
The 2 of them are USB 3.0 and 2 are USB 2?
That's right, yeah.
Yep. So that's my quick answer to everyone I'm looking at right now. And yeah, so you also have expansion pins here. I don't know what you can do. I think you can put in
Yeah, you've got the 40-pin GPIO connector there. So it's basically the Raspberry Pi connectors that you can buy. You can connect them to that as well.
So then you have 1, 2, 3 minimally. I would say minimum 3 for now.
Yeah, I'd probably say minimum 3 because you could connect like a Raspberry Pi type camera as well as the USB ones.
If you break it, I think you definitely will break things, but it's okay. We're here for you.
Well, that's just it. Try it, see what happens, give us feedback. You know, we push it to the limit that we can as a team, but you know, there's always another view of trying to break things but also make things work and do amazing things. Share that information with us. Get on and Go250. There's also the Discord channel, which Raymond runs, which is https discord.gg /VSZBJJ. You can see it there.
I'm very impressed you're trying to read it.
I know. I was starting to lose the will to live. I was starting to lose the will to live trying to read that one. Let's see if we've got any more questions here. If you want to know where you can get the Vizi-AI, that's available on Arrow as well as Mouser. Arrow do actually have it at a special rate at the moment for $199. Simply go onto the arrow.com website and search Vizi-AI, and you'll find the European and US power versions. Something that I would highlight is make sure you do use the power source or the correct power source for the device. With anything with Avidius, if it doesn't have enough power, it ain't going to work properly. So just make sure you are using the right amount of power to ensure that you don't suffer from that.
I think we're out of time. Thank you.
I think we are indeed. Yep. So hey, as I mentioned, next live stream's the exciting one. 10 winners being announced. Really looking forward to it. We've got some absolutely brilliant submissions. I've got to say, I have read all 115 and was really impressed with them. Thanks very much. Oh, hold on. What is the power efficiency? What is the power efficiency of Vizi-AI with multiple device connected?
Define power efficiency is a long problem. Come to Discord and ask us more.
Yeah. Ask Raymond. Yeah, join the Discord and ask Raymond the question, or by all means, join the Go250 forum and ask the question there directly with the ADLINK team. Okay, so as I mentioned, we've got the announcement, 10 a.m. on February the 5th, and the 10 Vizis will be flying out the door to those 10 winners. Chris, thanks very much for your time today. That was absolutely brilliant. Really appreciate it.
Thank you again for your text. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if you want to connect the one to Raymond again and just leave it running all night, just to fill up his SMS, that would be good. Anyway, thanks very much. Hey guys, thanks very much, and have a good evening.
Yep. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, everyone.